about this. They wanted to talk about the strikes, the McCleary money. Obviously, they asked me a lot of questions about Tumwater. So, and I came down to make the case. And I'm a social studies teacher normally, so I have to start with history. And you should understand the history is behind you. We took the state to court because our Constitution is very rare. It says the did she say save the teachers? Yeah, you're right. And you know what's beautiful about her screaming that is this is how easy it was for us to win in court. Have you been underpaid your entire career in public education?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little weak. Have you been underpaid your entire career in public education?
Yeah.
Now you sound like her. Have you had class sizes too large your entire career?
Yes.
Has the state ever fully funded special ed?
No.
Okay, that's how easy it was for us to win in court. We did have to provide a little bit more concrete evidence than that, but it wasn't really that hard. We produced salary schedules, we produced class sizes, we produced the lack of counselors, the lack of nurses, the constant cutting of secretaries and janitors. So we have mounted the evidence, won in court at every single level. The Supreme Court ruled in our favor. Of course, the legislature delayed and delayed and delayed, so they actually started accumulating fines from the Supreme Court. They were ignoring the court for several years. Then finally they realized we got to stop this. This last spring, they passed the last bill that got them out from under the McCleary ruling. And the court said, you're right, you've finally done it, you funded schools to the level we told you. What was the topic of that last bill that passed this last spring? Does anybody know the main purpose of that last bill? Anybody know? Yeah, it was teacher pay. It's a 48-page document. I don't suggest you read it unless you need to get some sleep, because it's very legal. But I took Microsoft Word and I searched how many times it says compensation, salary, or wages in a 48-page document. Over 70. Over 70 times it brings up that word. Because you have been underpaid your entire career. We are not going to attract and retain the next generation of teachers. I was just over, what elementary school was I at, Joseph?
Peter G.
Peter, I was Peter G. And one of your students who graduated from Tumwater High is now a counselor over there. She is a living example of what you can do if you can attract and retain your own students to become educators. But Tumwater is changing. You are a growing district. There are more students moving into here, and the district needs to be smart about planning for the future. The state legislature put all of this McCleary money of this year in salary. It did not say in the bill, put it aside for future levy concerns. It did not say in the bill, put it aside for superintendent special projects. It did not put it aside for, I'm worried about the future, so I'm just going to put more money in the reserves. That is not in the bill. And over 200 school districts went to the table this year, bargained McCleary money into salary, and guess where they are today? In the classroom with students. Even worse in this district, your superintendent thinks where they're going to resolve this is in the courts. We already went to court. It's called the McCleary decision. We won. Now give us our salary money. It's that simple. And I hate to say it, but we have to just be frank about what's going on here. If your superintendent school board takes this McCleary money and puts it somewhere else, it is flat out wage theft. There's no other way to say it. It is wage theft. And it's back pay wage theft, even worse, because they've owed you this for years. If they take you to court to force you back into the schools, now we're getting into bullying behavior. And it's unacceptable. There is one place you resolve a bargain, at the bargaining table. Your district needs to sit down like over 200 school districts with your bargaining team. They're going to be there this afternoon. This could be settled right now. Put the McCleary money into salary, get this thing TA'd, get to vote on it tomorrow. No, is it tomorrow or this afternoon?
Well, tomorrow
is your meeting
hopefully.
over here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if the meeting over here was a vote on a tentative agreement so you can be back in the classroom?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, one last question. Should all the McCleary money go into salary?
Yes!
Do you want to be back in the classroom on Monday?
Yes!
Well, let's make sure the district honors the McCleary decision, honors the bill, puts the money where it belongs, and puts you back in the classroom on Monday with the students of Tumwater. Thank you very much for being out here today. So at the PJ?
Peter
No.
G. Peter G.
Peter G. That's close. No, I wasn't. Peter G. They had a bunch of questions, and I'm more than willing to answer some questions if you guys want. So, yes.
How much did Tumwater actually get?
I could pull out my phone right now and look up the spreadsheet, and I can tell you the exact dollar amount after, but it's millions. They got millions of dollars that was supposed to go to salary.
So did they lose $8 million in that?
Okay. So I don't know where this lose concept is. This the superintendent's claiming they lost money?
They said they budgeted it elsewhere. They're putting $8 million elsewhere, and they won't say where.
No. So the session didn't end until the spring. So they were already working on their budget for the upcoming school year. So it's ridiculous that they're claiming they pre-spent the money that was supposed to go to McCleary's salary. That makes no sense. It only is arriving this fall. So that's a ridiculous argument. They might want to do something else with the money, but again, that's not the intent of the money. So they shouldn't do that. And over 200 school districts didn't do that. So why is Tumwater special? Or not special, actually.
Why didn't Tumwater join in with the other surrounding districts on their granted funds as opposed to, because other surrounding districts got compensated more, right?
Okay, so there's a general question about, different districts, different dollar amounts, and it is true the state legislature said we're not giving all districts the same amount of money. Districts are different sizes. Districts have different cost of living. Districts have different seniority of staff. So it's true, each district got a different amount of money, but over 200 of them put that money into salary. They didn't put it somewhere else. They didn't pre-spend it, which they haven't done. So that's an unbelievable concept. So it's a very simple concept here. There's a money amount that should go to certificated salary here, and it should just go there. End of story. And I don't know why your district doesn't seem to be able to figure that out.
Can we counter-sue them for abuse of funds?
So, as I said on TVW this morning with Austin Jenkins, we shouldn't be in court. The district shouldn't be in court because it's just bullying. And it's disrespectful to the bargaining process. Really? Do you want to force your employees back into school? How's that going to go on Monday? How's this year going to go? How's the future Tumwater going to go? Are you going to stay around here if all the other districts got pay and you didn't? I mean, come on. Think more than a week down the road with that policy. And regarding court, we already won. We already won the McCleary decision. The state said we were underpaid. Now, Tumwater should just put the money into the salary schedule. End of story. We don't need to go back to court to prove what we've already proved at every level of the court system. So, and I wish the Tumwater superintendent would just honor the intent and the law. Yeah.
You said the salaries should go, the money should go to salaries.
Yep.
Is it should or has to?
Well, the bill is 70 times it talks about salary, compensation, and wages. Keep in mind, we are a bargaining state. So luckily we're not Mississippi. So we do bargain. And the district, the legislature sent the money to the 270 plus school districts. Every district bargained it differently how they put it into the salary schedule. Some districts shrunk the number of columns for education experience. Some shrunk the number of years. Some expanded the number of years. My home district added a MA 90 column. We've never had an MA 90 column because the salary schedule was created back in the 80s when nobody had a master's degree. So we added an MA 90 column and crunched some of the BA columns because nobody's left with a BA 90 in Bellevue. So lots of different things were done in 200 plus districts, but the point being, the money went to salary. And all the district should be doing is sitting down with your association and figuring out how that salary schedule should look this next year, but not moving the money into some other spending area. Was there another question? Yeah.
Yeah, who are the districts accountable to? So, like, in the end, is there someone that we can reach up to at the higher level?
There you go.
And
You don't have to go high. You only have to go to 5 people. There are 5 people who live in Tumwater who serve on the what?
School board.
And what are they? Elected. There are 5 people who are accountable to the community of Tumwater for the education of the students of Tumwater and for the working conditions and work environment and pay of the Tumwater education school district employees. That's it. Those 5 people. And those 5 people hire 1 person. So there's your accountability chain. And that's why over 200 parents have already gone to the Chinook headquarters and signed a letter objecting to the district taking you into court because they want you to get paid. The voters in Tumwater and Olympia and all over this state have constantly voted for schools. They voted for it in their levies. They voted for class size not once, but twice. They voted to move the simple majority requirement to a majority, a simple majority. So every chance the voters of Washington State have gotten to support their schools, they've done it. And the Tumwater Superintendent and School Board need to honor the intent of the legislature, the Supreme Court, and the voters of Tumwater. Other questions? Any others? Over here?
Oh, no, I was waiting.
Oh, you're waving? No more questions?
We got one. Gabe back there.
Yes.
Can you speak to how Paris fit into this equation with the courts and no funding?
Yeah, so if I understand correctly, you're in a separate unit. Yeah, so the state was so clear about the money intent, they put the money into 3 buckets. So every district got a dollar amount, millions of dollars, based on the size, for administration, certificated teachers, and classified employees. And paras fall into the classified group. So there is a bucket of money that was supposed to go to you guys in salary. And they were that clear about it.
Did administration in Tumwater already get their raises?
That's a great question for your superintendent.
So you don't know?
I don't know. I'm not bargaining for this. Did the administration get their pay increase that the state intended?
189 for John Bash. He got a raise in support.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm assuming they didn't spend it on other stuff. Any other questions?
So I guess,
Yeah.
so like with total bargains, there is some money still for total secretaries.
Yeah, no, there is a pot of money for all the classified employees, all the bus drivers, secretaries, paras, custodians. There is a pot of money for them, and I hope Tumwater is wise enough to get the money to them, because talk about a group of individuals. In Spokane, there were ESPs, classified employees, who got pay increases between 10 and 22%. There were employees weeping openly on the floor of their general membership meeting when they finally read the contract. Do you know what a 20% pay increase does to the life of an ESP? It changes their life permanently. But let's be honest, what would a 10% pay increase do for you? That's just one example. I don't even know. I haven't looked at your dollar amount, but because I just want all the McCleary money into salary where it belongs. But 10% is huge. We've had members go on Facebook in districts that have been getting 10, 15, 20% increases saying, I paid off my college loan. I'm going to pay off my college loan this fall. My kid is going to go to college now. We had a member in Bellevue who very openly said, I'm going to have a child now. I couldn't afford to have a child until this pay increase occurred. And lots of people have said, I'm staying in the profession now because I think I can make a good living now for my whole career and stay in the profession. What just breaks my heart is that you've been underpaid for 20 years and then we had to spend 12 years in court to get to this point. But now that we're there, don't steal the money at the last moment and put it somewhere else. Tumwater members deserve it. You deserve the salary that the courts intended. Any other questions?
Are you going to go to each site and talk, get the same speech? Or can you come to our meeting tomorrow?
So I know there's been a request for somebody from WA to come to your rally tomorrow morning. I'm actually going to be so close, but so far, I'm your WA representative on the OSPI Teacher of the Year Selection Committee. And I've graded all the applications, and tomorrow I sit in a room for 9 hours interviewing 9 candidates. So I have to do that or else our voice won't be in the room. But I know there's a large network of people from WA supporting what you're doing. But I do want to emphasize, it's about the 5 school board members directing their employee, the superintendent of this district, and those 5 school board members have to believe the community wants this money into salary, and you have to leave no doubt in the minds of those school members. At least get to 3 of the 5. Because that's what this is about. Yeah, they don't care what I think. They care what you and the voters and the parents and the kids of this district feel. And you're on the right side, so do not lose faith that you are on the right side of this issue. If you need any reminder, the little girl who just went by screaming out her mom's car, she wants you to get the salary. So, any last? Yes?
Is there anything more that students and parents can do?
Yes, so thank you for asking. I'm going to direct you to Justin, and Justin will direct you to a way to get your parents to come to our union headquarters to get them to sign the petition. And having students and parents show up at any public event. So they'll be in front of the courthouse tomorrow. Justin can tell you that. And then if you are still on strike next Monday, there will be more public events. And the more students that come out, the better. It's really important for you guys, and I really appreciate you coming out and helping out today. Any other? Yep.
Just a suggestion. Could we meet here as a school in their parking lot and then carpool from here to 9 o'clock at the event tomorrow?
Yeah, that makes sense. Again, I'll defer to your picket captain. There must be a picket captain around.
Right here.
Yeah. There you go. He knows everything you're supposed to do. So, and he'll find the answer if not. Anyone else? Before I leave, I am going to have a conversation with this gentleman, Tom Taylor, because Tom, I taught at Bellevue High from 1998 to 2004. So you and I have to tell stories about Tumwater teachers you trained that came to Bellevue. For 20 years, I taught a lesson on the cause of the Civil War written by this man, and I taught it to Bellevue High students, and it's still taught in Bellevue because of him. And that's why we do this work, because we are a family across the state. And so thank you for being out here today. Stay strong, and I hope you get all the McCleary money and salary.
Thank you.